now turn up.
What up is Marcus Dynasty Football Dads? I have Jackson. He is passing out sleeping, so no, I'm just kidding. Don't have to be shushed. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We are getting closer to 1,000 subscribers. When we hit that, we're giving away that free jersey, and I want to keep giving away more and more stuff, so please keep telling people to subscribe. I want to give away more stuff here. So, and the bigger we get, the more stuff we can give away, and the better stuff we give away, and I really would like that. So, Kevin B, you have a 20% chance of winning. Of course, just with a nice little reminder, because you're probably watching this, and you've got a 20% chance. Somebody else is going to have a 20% chance here real soon. We're going to be doing wide receivers 11 through 20 in Dynasty Fantasy Football. You might be going, where is 1 through 10? We didn't go through 1 through 10. It's going to be on the Patreon channel, Patreon's page. And there's reasons why we want to do the Patreon page, primarily because so we can do more and bigger and better giveaways. So fun stuff. I want to do bigger and better giveaways. Like, I hope you guys do too. And it's kind of, so I'll give you details towards the end of the video on what that's going to be like if you haven't heard what that is going to be. But wide receiver number 11 is going to be Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is 26 years old, which is, he's older than you would think. He came in a little bit older from Alabama, but he's a little bit older than you would think because I feel like Calvin Ridley is like a 24-year-old player. If you said who's older, Juju or Calvin Ridley, I know who's older. I know it's Calvin Ridley, but you feel like Juju's been in the league just as long as Calvin Ridley. And so Calvin Ridley, wide receiver 11, 26 years old. I think he's going to be taking over the Julio spot. I think Julio's going to come back. He's going to come back healthy, so Ridley may not have as good of a year as he did in 2020. But 2021, I could see him still having a wide receiver 9-year, wide receiver 10-year. You're going to see him as an end of wide receiver 1 category, and then going on forward, you're going to see, and Julio could get traded. So Julio could get traded, and Calvin Ridley might jump a spot or two here. Because if he's the only one there with Kyle Pitts, that is going to be a lovely situation for Calvin Ridley. I mean, you could see him jumping, like, quote unquote, Chris Godwin. Yeah, that's part of the top 10. You could see him jumping him easily. So number 12, we're going to go with he's another like guy that I feel like is super young, but 25, Terry McLaurin. So he's wide receiver 12, Terry McLaurin. Scary Terry, I don't know where I heard that one. Maybe that's just his nickname, but Scary Terry, he is just an excellent wide receiver. Of course, drafted in the 3rd round by out of Ohio State, but Terry McLaurin is a really, really good wide receiver, and Washington is going to, with Ryan Fitzpatrick and no one else, not Alex Smith, with Taylor Heineke or whoever it's going to be, but I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is really going to show well. I mean, Fitzpatrick knows how to produce fantasy wide receivers, and if that's anything to know, like, he can definitely do that. He can definitely throw the ball. I'd be interested to see if we see a different Ryan Fitzpatrick, because, I mean, he's a Harvard grad, but do they try to tame him? I don't know how you tame Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's usually that doesn't happen. But Terry McLaurin, wide receiver 12. Wide receiver 13, right behind him is DJ Moore. He's 24 years old, 1 year left on his Carolina contract. It'd be interesting to see if he stays there. I think he does. I think he stays, Robbie goes, and Robbie goes to a different team, which that doesn't really matter for DJ Moore, besides the fact that Terrace Marshall will take kind of the other targets that are swallowed up. DJ Moore's going to just do what he does normally, and that is play at minimum of 14 games and have like 1,000 yards, be a top 7 wide receiver when it comes to yards, and just be frustrating with touchdowns. He's the Robbie Woods of fantasy football. Robbie Woods has all these yards and no touchdowns. It's like he'll have 1,200 yards, 5-6 touchdowns, and you're going to go, oh, wow. You're going to have some of these games are going to be frustrating because it's going to be 50 yards, 60 yards, 60 yards, 50 yards. And you're like, man, should I even play him? Like, I'm tired of getting 5-6 points in standard, or I'm tired of getting 10 points. Like, I want some big points. And then you're going to probably bench him, which I've done before because I've had him. And then he's going to go off for like 4 catches for like 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. And you're like, that was like half your touchdowns right there. And I missed out. And then you're going to put him in your starting lineup for a couple more weeks, and then you're probably going to be like, man, back to this like 3 catches, 60 yards thing again. And one of them's like probably like, because he always gets like 1 catch for like 45 yards, and you're like, this is good. This is good for fantasy. We're going to have to do a great start. And then he gets like a catch for 7 yards, and then a catch for like 9 yards. And then you don't see him for like 2.5 quarters. And then sometimes it's just pure garbage time. You're like looking, it's either that or it's pure garbage time, and you're like, he doesn't have a single catch. He has like 4 targets, 0 catches. And then all of a sudden it's like garbage time. And they're just chucking it to him on slants. But whatever matters, I know I went off on a rant there. DJ Moore, 24 years old, wide receiver 13. Still think that he can be a really good, solid upper wide receiver 2 for the next 4 years. And that's really good production there for DJ Moore. I need to see where my next wide receiver is. Nope, it went all the way down to wide receiver 27. That's not what I want. Nope, it's down to wide receiver 14. Courtland Sutton, of course, coming off his ACL injury. I'm still frustrated that they didn't get a quarterback, and I don't think that this is the end-all be-all. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater is not an amazing quarterback by any means. He can help a little bit, but I mean, Courtland Sutton, being 25, I still think he is a really, really awesome wide receiver talent-wise. We just got to see we got to see him get a quarterback. We really do, and I mean, this could be a guy that if you buy now and Rodgers goes there, which I don't think is going to happen. I honestly don't. I think Packers and Rodgers will figure it out. I've not heard this before, but like, as being a Vikings fan, I've heard Rodgers' complaints there before, and he's kind of a diva, but he always stays. And so, unless this has gone to the Brett Favre situation where this is unsalvageable, which I don't think is yet. Wide receiver 15, Kenny Golladay. So we're looking at some of these wide receivers that were hurt last year, but have awesome top. These are guys that have top 7 potential. Like they could be that top wide receiver. Like DJ Moore, I don't think does. I think he's going to be that upper wide receiver too, but I think his floor is a lot higher because if Courtland Sutton doesn't recover well, or if Kenny Golladay doesn't get a good connection with if Kenny G doesn't have a good connection with Danny Dimes, then we're going to have an issue. We're going to have an issue there, and Kenny Golladay could be wide receiver 25. And you say, oh, that won't happen, but wide receivers that go to new teams, a lot of times they get worse. Besides Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs is a very asterisk to that stat. And Brandon Marshall is the other one in history that switched teams and actually got a lot better. But you don't see that very often, so just put that in note. Wide receiver 16, Mike Evans, Mr. 1,000 yards, broke that Randy Moss's record. I don't know what else you can say. He's 27. He still has another couple of years left in him. He's just kind of into this phase where he's going to be frustrating at times because he's going to have Antonio Brown. He's going to have Chris Godwin there at least the next year. And you're going to have Tom Brady, but what's after Tom Brady? Like, how long is Tom Brady going to be there? 2, 3, 7 more years? I don't know. Oh, probably not 7, but I mean, I said that like 5 years ago. I was like, probably not 7. And here we're getting close. So Mike Evans, next one, Allen Robinson. These are all Sutton down. This is all a tier. 14 to 20 is just a nice little solid tier. If you like 20 better than 14, that is fine. If you like 19 better than 14, that is fine. This is the personally the way I have them, but Allen Robinson, wide receiver 17, he's going to be a Bear. I think he's going to be hyper-targeted. You're going to have a year just like last year, but what is after that is the future. And so where does he go? What kind of targets does he get? He's also 27. You see a lot of these 27-year-olds right here. So it's like, what in the world do you do with Allen Robinson? I think he's a wide receiver 17. He's going to be a very solid producer on fantasy championship teams, but that is where we kind of ended, is right there. So Allen Robinson, wide receiver 17. Devontae Smith, wide receiver 18. Well, actually, it would be Jamar Chase and then Devontae Smith. So 18 and 19. I didn't update this until I didn't update some of these rookies until this is pre-draft. I got to do after draft. So Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, 18, 19, right next to each other. I mean, Jamar Chase, 21, Devontae Smith, 22. I don't know what else you want me to know. Like, you can look at my videos back. I talk all about the differences between them, and I mean, I think people can harp on it as much as they want. If you're a Jamar Chase lover, I don't think you can put him farther than this. I don't think you can put him up in like 13, 12, 11 territory. But I mean, if you want him ahead of Allen Robinson and Mike Evans, go for it. Just know that the track record for Mike Evans and Allen Robinson is better, and that's why I have them ahead, because I think they're going to still have a couple more good years. And Jamar Chase still, it doesn't matter how great of a prospect you are, there's still bust potential. Doesn't matter how I've heard, you know how many times I've heard generational talent, bust proof? And you know how many times they've busted? A lot of times. I'm tired of hearing it. I really am, because it's Kyle Pitts, bust proof. No, if it's a 5% chance, you still have a 5% chance on bust proof. If you play roulette, does anybody else play roulette? There is, how many is there? There's 36 there's 36, I think, thingies, 36 red and blacks, and there's one green. Sometimes they have two greens because now casinos want more. I think that's the case. Maybe there's more. I don't know. Whatever it is, you could say, oh, it will never hit on green. But guess what? It hits on green, maybe 3% of the time. I don't know exactly if it's 36. It's right around 3% of the time. So if you say Kyle Pitts is a roulette board, red and black, he's gonna be a good to great player. And green he's an absolute bust. There is a chance of him being a bust. Same with Jamar Chase. Maybe the chances are a lot less. It's not like, oh, all red squares are bust. Like, yeah, that's for a lot of players. They have like a 50-50 or even worse. So just know, no one's ever bust proof. Number 20, Keenan Allen. We got to finish it off. 28 years old, probably the oldest guy that I've had in here so far besides maybe like a Devontae Adams and stuff like that, and he's up higher into the top 10. So Keenan Allen, wide receiver 20. Nothing else to say besides that. I mean, he's just a solid wide receiver. He's just getting older, and I think he has less duration left than some of these other wide receivers, like a year less, and that's just why he's there. All right, so if you've gone this far, Patreon, what we are doing is we are giving half of everything away. So there's 3 key points. A, we're giving half of everything away. B, you actually get other stuff with it. So you actually get rankings, and you actually get access to me, and I'll actually help you through Dynasty trade season, all that other stuff. You can read through the Patreon description tiers, and there's going to be leagues and stuff like that we're going to be doing. So A, we're giving half of it away. So that's awesome. So you could, but in theory, you could sign up and you could make more money signing up, and you could also make nothing, but you could also make more. You could, so let's say, spend $10 a month or whatever, or $5 a month or whatever it is, and you could end up winning a $100 prize, a $1,000 prize, whatever it is when we get to those points. So, A, giving half of it away. B, the tiers, you're actually getting stuff with it too. It's not just like you're just giving me money and I'm just gambling it for you. It's not that. Number 3, we gotta just make sure that, like, I want to make sure that I can continue to do these videos the upcoming weeks, months, years. Like, I want to be able to do this long term as like a little side project, side thing to do. To do that, I gotta get my wife on board. Like, we gotta make sure that she is A-okay, like me, spending time to produce videos every single day, which takes time. And there's got to be a point where it's like, I can't be doing this for a year, and she'd be like, well, you're just giving stuff away constantly and not making anything. So and if you have a wife or a fiance or a long-term girlfriend, you have to show production, or else you get cut. It gets cut out, and I don't want to get cut out. I want to continue to do this stuff. So please subscribe. Please make sure that if you are interested in Patreon stuff or have questions about it, either comment below or just go in there and sign up. Or if you have problems signing up for something, let me know that too, because I think that the Patreon's live, but this is my first time doing it. And so we're going to go through a couple different little rough patches here, but thank you to all that keep watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.
Now turn up.